Good morning, ghouls and ghosties, and welcome to Vlogoween week 4. Happy Friday to you. So it is Friday morning, and we are actually not headed to my mom's to go to the gym this week. We are headed to my mom's house, and Ryan's gonna be joining me in a sec, to go take the 2024 Halloween card. So we kind of talked about it a little bit last Talk or Treat on Tuesday, but every single year my family has done a Halloween card, and it's not just like a season's greetings, like kind of like Christmas card knockoff situation. We have always done like a scene inspired by a monster, inspired by a movie, a show, a concept. Like, it's very like campy. It's not just like a picture of all of us. So I showed you guys a few of those actually last week on Tuesday. So if you missed that and you want to go see them, you can go take a peek at that. But this year, we have a brand new idea. We do a new idea every year, and this year, the big reveal. Our idea is doing Medusa. So my mom is going to be Medusa. Ryan and my brother and my dad are going to be turned to stone, and I'm going to be hiding behind Ryan as he's like a statue, like from my mom, because she's going to like come get me. That is this year's idea, and I will have to show you guys a picture of it once it's edited. I am super excited about it. I love doing the Halloween card each year. It's definitely something I would carry on like forever, even though I will say every year it's harder and harder to come up with a brand new idea, because we've done like every monster and movie, I feel like, at this point, but it is still super fun, and I was happy that we came up with a good idea, I feel like, this year. So we're gonna go take that in my mom's backyard, and then I'm hoping that we have a little time to go to the gym today. Maybe I have to cut my workout a little short, but I'm still meeting with my grandparents for lunch. That's just kind of like our Friday tradition. And then tonight, actually, we are going to look at people's Halloween displays and Halloween decor outside and see, we kind of just drive around the neighborhoods of the cities nearby, and we look at all the Halloween decor. And usually the past 2 years, we would get a boo bucket for dinner kind of while we're doing that, like a kid's meal at McDonald's. But this year, I think we're actually gonna go get the zombie dollaritas at Applebee's after we're done, and we're gonna have like after 9 o'clock half price appetizers at Applebee's. I haven't been to Applebee's in like years, so that'll be interesting, but that'll be fun. So we have a fun day and night planned. Fridays in October are always like the best time. So that's today's plan. Tomorrow, Ryan and I are going back to Onionhead, which is the haunted house at Mall of America. So I will get you guys a lot better footage this time. It was kind of like the first thing that kicked off Vlogoween on week 1, but I didn't get much footage because I was with some friends I hadn't seen in a long time. But this time I will get a bit more footage. So I'm super excited about that as well. So tons of fun, tons of spooky stuff coming up this weekend. I'm super excited, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you if you're joining me for another week of Vlogoween. It's been so much fun, but let's get motating. I gotta go get Ryan out here. We are really starting to see some color change. Here is Friday's update on my mother's front yard tree. There is quite a lot of reds coming in. This one in particular is my favorite branch, I think. Look at how beautiful. For lunch, we went to Freddy's with my grandparents, and at Freddy's they have a very amazing pumpkin pie mixer, and it is so good. I cannot finish this whole thing even though it's so small, but it is delicious. Okay, we are off to our night of lights. I don't know if anybody can compete with this house. Like, this one's just so good. Whoever did this decor is just so talented, and it's just such a good looking home. Very festive. Very fall. I don't think anyone can compete with this house. No. Whoever did this house, so well done.
The fire in the eyes, though, is so funny.
Yeah, some kid came up today and he was like, I have to touch the skeleton because otherwise it scares me. We started off in some neighborhoods near our house. We were going to start with the city that we live in and then move on to the next city over. Quite a few houses actually on the blocks near us had a lot of decor. Those are some of these first ones you are seeing. A lot of people use a lot of inflatables, I've noticed, which I've never been a fan of personally, but I understand that it's a pretty cheap and easy way to get some big decor pieces. Here was the first 12-footer I spotted. This house had a Inferno pumpkin. He was really awesome. I didn't get mine up this year, so it was cool to see him in person this year. I called this the Target house because I could just tell that every single decor piece was from Target. This house was insane, so all of the lights were actually going to a radio station connection that was playing music. Also, look at the 12-foot ghost. I had never seen him in person. It was awesome to see him. And this house had the 15-foot phantom. It was really cool to see him too. I've maybe only seen him once before. We were getting pretty hungry, so we moved on to Applebee's, and luckily they had the Dollarita. At first, she was thinking they might be out of it, but they did end up having it, which was awesome. Here's a look. It's like a zombie drink with a gummy brain in it. It was actually so good. I was kind of surprised because I know in the past they haven't been super impressive, but we all really enjoyed these. Interestingly enough, they also had boozy buckets, which is a bucket of a alcoholic drink, and I think I'll pass. That sounds like a lot. They also had a $5 version. It was kind of confusing how many different options they had for the zombie drink. Of course, we had to get half-price apps too. We had waited until after 9 o'clock, and surprisingly, they were a lot better than I expected. I'd say no to the boneless chicken wings, but yes to their new quesadilla. I also, of course, had to bring home celery for the dogs. They would be so mad if I didn't. Good morning, ghouls and ghosties, and happy Saturday to you. So today, we are going to be going to the Onionhead's Revenge, as it's called, at the Mall of America tonight, which is like a haunted house type experience. I think I said this in the beginning, but I did bring you guys on the very first day of Vlogoween, but I didn't get much footage because I was with friends, so I will be getting more today because it's Ryan and I. I'm really excited to go back. I really love going here, and especially because Ryan has honestly had to kind of skip quite a few things. It's kind of nice that he actually gets to do something because his illness is finally over, so that's pretty nice. But we had a ton of fun looking at lights last night. There kind of weren't as many as we were hoping. I don't know if we just weren't going to the right neighborhoods. We also didn't time it perfectly, and we ended up getting pretty hungry, so we went to Applebee's basically right at 9 when all of the specials start. But that was super fun. The Dollarita is very good. My whole family totally agreed with that, and I still had a super fun time anyways. We listened to my almost entire Halloween playlist while we were looking at lights, and it was super fun. And I would argue that my house was the best one we saw all night. There were a few pretty good ones, but I argue mine is pretty good too. Yeah, but there's obviously all kinds of cities and neighborhoods we totally didn't get to. Looking at lights for maybe 2 hours isn't gonna encompass the whole area, so I'm sure there's plenty of really cool displays that we just didn't get to. We only really got to kind of 2 cities for the most part. Well, we really covered one city, and the other city we actually even we kind of did a chunk of. I don't know, but there's probably a lot more. Anyways, then we got home, and my mom and Ryan had both been complaining all night about being quite tired. So we went home. Ryan went to bed. I stayed up for just a little bit, and I was just watching a couple YouTube videos because I knew I wasn't gonna stay up super long. That was kind of the anticlimactic end of the night. But tonight we're gonna try to time Onionhead not super late, maybe the 7:30 entry time, so that we can come home and maybe have a bonfire and stuff, because that the fall bonfires are a limited lifespan because it will suddenly get really cold each night, and lately it's still just been perfect to have them. Tonight is not ultra windy, which has been another issue we've been having, so we would love to have a bonfire. I don't know. We're not done with our spooky movie list yet, so we'll have to see. Anyways, I'll check back in when we start something spooky today. Otherwise, I got a little bit of work to get done this morning, and I'm going to get a pumpkin coffee right now. I don't remember if I said that, but that's what I'm doing right now. We ended up going to our local outlet mall. Ryan is looking for a polo bear sweater for his birthday that I'm gonna get him, and so that's why we stopped. But of course, I did want to stop by any store that would have some Halloween items, and the one I could think of was Coach. So Coach, of course, had their Halloween outlet collection for this year, and I'm not really going to be buying any, but it was great to see it in person. It's quite cute stuff, but I actually do prefer last year's, and I really prefer even the year before. I had heard rumors that Home Depot may be starting some Halloween clearance, so I did want to stop by and check if they had anything in or anything marked down. They had very little left and not many markdowns, so I did go home empty-handed. Okay, ghouls and ghosties, we are just about to head off to Onionhead's Revenge. But I have to show you this hoodie I got today. So it came in the mail. There's this website called The Real with all these like bougie brands, and I sell stuff there all the time. So every once in a while I'll get like this bonus credit that I can just use to buy something. And I bought this hoodie that I think you guys are gonna really appreciate. So it says Saint Laurent, that's the brand, and it's this like skeleton bat, and like whatever, it's just a hoodie, like isn't that so fun and cool? But it is a bat wing hoodie, and I couldn't be more excited. This is going to be my favorite hoodie. I actually don't have many hoodies or sweatshirts because I usually don't really like them, but this one is so soft, so stretchy, and so much fun, and it's right up my alley. It's spooky and campy, and I'm wearing it tonight, so we're just about to head over there, and I'm so excited. We cut through Nickelodeon Universe to get to Onionhead, and they had this giant real pumpkin. I think the scariest thing in the entire mall was this M&M that was kissing on the glass into the park. But we finally got up to Onionhead's Revenge. It's in a corner, kind of in its own little section. They have this really cool wallpaper leading to the doorway. Everything inside is totally themed and decorated. This is the spooky sort of bar that they have inside where you're supposed to consume some liquid courage before you get scared. They were playing Texas Chainsaw on the TV, which when my friends and I went, they had Terrifier 2 on, and it was kind of disturbing for me. Ryan and I tried to play darts, and they had some little chalkboards next to the darts that I actually wrote Jack Valentine on, so if anyone went to Onionhead in my area and saw that, that was me. Good morning, ghouls and ghosties. It is Sunday today, and today. Don't have a ton of work or anything to get done, except I did already edit the video for the other channel for today, but I do have some housework to get done. So I love having the leaves all over. Trust me, I would love to not have to get rid of them, but it's getting just a wee bit out of hand. And if we're gonna have some bonfires anytime soon, this is a huge fire hazard. Like a spark going out in our yard would not be a good idea. I'm gonna work on getting some of the leaves sucked up. I know that I can't probably get all of them, at least not in one go, but it needs to be done. We try to avoid it because, I mean, our trees still have a lot of leaves, so I'm hoping that like we can just twice in the year do it. This one's getting sparse. I don't want to just like pick up leaves every single week. So we were trying to wait a little bit until quite a lot were down, and I think we've reached that point. So what's going on, guys? Here, Will. So I am gonna get to work with our leaf blower, leaf sucker situation. Good morning, ghouls and ghosties, and happy Monday to you. Well, at least for me it is. I know it's probably not for you, but it is a beautiful Monday. Actually, it's supposed to get hot today, which is like, really? So the like average high today is like 55, and when we woke up, it was 59. Like the overnight temp was higher than the average high for today. So it is supposed to get to 82 today, which is wild. We are like a week and a half from Halloween and it is gonna be 80 freaking 2 degrees outside. That is crazy. But anyways, I just got done at the gym, so I'm not in anything spooky. I actually have a spooky shirt to change into, my ghost face. And yes, I know I wear this so often, but I do wash it in between. You guys are probably like, does he wear that every day? Does that get cleaned? Yes, it does. I love that jersey. And I know that like, this is, especially with the nice temps, having this like button up cold, like short sleeve, perfect. Anyways, so as per usual on a Monday, I have a bunch of work to get done today. But before we go do some work, I actually am near like the only Lowe's in my area, and I kind of want to check it out and see if there's any clearance or discounts. I don't even know if there's anything I'd get if there were, but I feel like I've seen a couple posts saying that some stuff is being marked down there, and I'd like to just see. I don't know. I know I didn't want anything at full price. Maybe I'll want something at 30% off, half price, whatever. So I'm gonna check Lowe's just because I'm in the area. And that brings up a point. So I've never actually done or filmed, but even physically done, like full-blown Halloween clearance shopping after, like in November. But I'm thinking this year I might try, like maybe November 1st and 2nd, we go out and we check out some of the home goods and just see what they have half off. And we do maybe like a small post-season haunt hunt. That'll be haunt hunt number 10 for the year, so we'll actually have hit 10. It probably would not be full size because there's just not going to be that much to look at, but maybe like a shorter 25-ish minute video versus like the hour that we usually do. I was thinking that that'd be kind of fun, so possibly. I think that's all I had to say. So we're gonna go to Lowe's today. I cannot believe Halloween's in a week and a half at all, and I'm trying to not like think about it. Luckily, this middle part of October is actually kind of like went, I wouldn't say slow, but it hasn't felt like it's been flying by as fast as a lot of times I feel like it does, and a lot of times I like fear it's going to. Like, I feel like we've actually been able to fit in a lot of the movies so far. I've watched some horror movies, and I think I've just taken this year a lot slower, which I've loved because I've been able to like soak it in more, like laying out on the hammock in the fall leaves and just enjoying the fall leaves, going on like walks and seeing all the colors, because we're right at the end of peak color, so there's a lot of really pretty trees, but some of them are starting to lose leaves. But I just feel like I've been like soaking it in a bit more. Obviously last year we were super busy with prepping for the wedding, which our anniversary of that is like a week away almost. But I don't know, it's been really nice to kind of just take this October a bit slower than past ones. Like, that's the only nice thing when haunt hunting is like done, it is then you just get to enjoy. And I feel like I have been. So I hope you guys have been too. I mean, it still feels like it's been flying by. I still am just horrified that it's only a week and a half and then I don't even want to talk about it. But I'm excited for Halloween, of course. And I'm really, like, the fact that there's one more weekend, like this next weekend is like basically Halloween weekend when like bars or restaurants or people would throw Halloween parties. That's wild. That is absolutely crazy. Ryan has a concert this Friday and I am going back to visit the brewery that I've helped out a couple times because they're having a little like costume contest. So I'm gonna go there. That's where I'm gonna wear my serial killer costume because they're having a little like Halloween costume dress up thing. I don't know. This has just been like, I just can't believe it's already gonna be almost Halloween. I like that it's on a Thursday. I feel like that gives us like, you get the weekend before, but then there's still quite a few days until it's actually Halloween. It's like, that's like a really good like sweet spot to have Halloween on. Next year's gonna be perfect as well on a Friday. Beautiful day for Halloween. And again, you get like the weekend before to think like it's Halloween weekend, but then you get the whole next week. That'll be super nice too. Coming up very soon, we gotta carve our pumpkins and we need to make our trick-or-treater treat bags. I think that's gonna be something for this next weekend. I have a bunch of stuff for the trick-or-treater bags, and of course we have to put them together because it just happens too fast. You can't put them together as they're coming. We have to put them together before. So of course, like, I'll show you guys that when we do that. But okay, enough, Jack. I'm gonna go to Lowe's. So I guess there was my random just streamline of consciousness right now. So let's go to Lowe's. Lowe's definitely did have some stuff left, and some of it was half off. The larger pieces, like the animatronics and licensed decor, I don't believe was half off, and there were only limited amounts left, so I didn't end up getting anything. Just got home from my out of the house work for the day, and I am going to have lunch and watch this new 2024 Hulu movie, Carved. Actually, I believe it came out today, and it's something about some pumpkin getting revenge on people that were carving it. So it sounds like a good one to me, and I am gonna watch it. I bought these new solar-powered spotlights for my groundbreaker skeleton and for the mummy, since my mummy does not have functioning lights, and I really, really love actually how these work. I'm making dinner now, and Ryan wanted some chicken macaroni, but unfortunately we don't have like cheese for macaroni and cheese, but I'm gonna use our Halloween pasta from Aldi. Somebody's tired from the walk. I'm gonna use that spooky pasta from Aldi, and I'm just gonna do kind of a creamy red pesto. That just sounds good. And I'll add some kind of like cheesy flavors and maybe some shredded cheese, so as close as we can get. We've got some very shredded chicken, and I'm waiting for the water to start boiling so I can put in the noodles. My cauldron is just sitting over there. Oh my gosh, look how dirty it looks on camera. My cauldron is just sitting over there, wondering why I'm not using it. Here is our creamy pesto, shredded chicken, cheesy macaroni situation. I think it turned out pretty good for not actually having a mac and cheese mix. Even though you can't really see the shapes of the spooky noodles that well. So that's kind of a bummer. What do you think of my food?
I think this is the best thing that he's pulled off that oven in a long time.
Ryan's really into the pesto mac situation. hypnotized.
It is really good.
Good morning, ghouls and ghosties. So today is Tuesday, and you know what that means. That means later on today, we are having yet another talk or treat. Otherwise, today, I am out running quite a few errands that I have to do this morning related to my job. One of our neighbors got the skull archway. Oh, this morning, the Home Depot stuff went half off, all the Halloween Home Depot stuff, and I had been refreshing the 12-foot Reapers page like multiple times every single day for the past like week, knowing that he'd probably be marked down soon. And I refreshed this morning, and it was finally half, and it said there was one left. And so I tried to purchase it, and as soon as I tried, it said it was sold out. So I assume it wasn't actually there. And I actually saw some posts of people saying that they tried to. It's really a bummer because I absolutely would have got him for half. I just never bought him for full, which is fine. It's fine. I mean, even for half, I still don't really have room for him. So whatever. But besides the point. So today's talk or treat. Once we get home, I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna go to Half Price Books today. We might just save that for next week, but I'm not really sure yet. I bet there's not much new because it's only been a week. So maybe next week we'll do Half Price Books, but I have yet. It's Tuesday right now, and I still have yet to decide what the talk or treat topic is gonna be. I've thought of a few good topics, but I just don't think I have enough, or I don't have anything to say relating to them. A really fun talk or treat topic, if I had a story, would be like ghost or paranormal experiences. But unfortunately in my life, only like once was there this like weird thing at my friend's house with a dog freaking out. But that's it. It's not enough. If I had a couple stories, I think that'd be a great topic, but I just don't. Of course, somebody had requested that I do kind of like a spooky kitchen collection. I just don't know if that is going to spark interest in enough of you guys. I just feel like I don't have anything crazy. The Le Creuset and the Cauldron are probably like my favorite, like the coolest spooky kitchen items I have. So I'm really just debating, and obviously by the time we get to talk or treat, I'll have something, but I just can't come up with something yet. I wish I had paranormal stories. That would be such a fun one, but I don't. And I know that a couple, or quite a few of you said that you'd like to see some more of my family's past Halloween cards, and I'm gonna show you this year's, so that'll be part of it, but I don't know. I'm still brainstorming. We might just have a spooky train of thought. Once again, all aboard the spooky train of thought. Because I just can't think of anything. Maybe I'll tell you my one paranormal story. We'll talk about the Halloween cards. So I just thought I'd update you on where I'm at mentally. So talk or treat might end up being just kind of a mishmash again. And I hope you guys are okay with that. It seems like you have been. But I'm gonna keep thinking. I'm gonna keep brainstorming. We'll see. We will see. So I'm gonna go run some errands. I haven't decided if I'm going anywhere with spooky stuff yet. I would love to check some more Home Depots for spooky stuff. Half off, but I have a feeling that they're all basically empty. I already went to like the biggest one in my area and there was like nothing. I even looked with Ryan and I was like, okay, it wasn't on sale, and I was like, okay, if all of this was half, still wouldn't be anything I wanted. A lot of up in the air, I don't knows today. So I'll check in with you guys if we do something spooky. Otherwise, I will see you for talk or treat, of course. Literally not a single thing in this Home Depot. Hello, ghouls and ghosties, and welcome to yet another talk or treat. As I was just saying in the car, in the clip that you just saw, I was having a little trouble coming up with this week's talk or treat topic. And I said that ghost stories, paranormal experiences would be such a fun one, but I haven't had any, or I've only kind of had one. Then I got to thinking while I was driving around, and I totally forgot about one other one I've had. So I have two paranormal experiences to share with you guys, and they're quite odd and definitely unexplainable. Also, I would love to hear you guys's, so I really want you guys to share in the comments below after this if you have had a paranormal experience. I haven't had a ton, and I'm sure that there is something I'm missing or just not coming up with. I feel like there's been something that's happened in this house, but it's just not coming to me right now, and so I don't know. I'm just gonna tell you guys about these two. But obviously this is talk or treat, so we need a treat. while we talk. And today's treat is none other than the iconic Pillsbury sugar cookies, the pumpkin ones. Obviously, these are not cooked, so these are cookie dough ones. And on the packaging it says edible, raw, or cooked. I think there's a lot of people that agree with me. These are super, super good cooked, but they're even better raw. They're so good. Okay, so when I was a kid, I used to just be obsessed with these raw. And back in the day, they didn't say edible raw, so I don't know if that was okay, but I used to be obsessed with them. And my dream was always like for my birthday or some kind of big day that I would just buy a pack of them and just eat the whole thing raw, which is like so yikes. Like that would be a lot. I still prefer them raw. They're so good raw. I'm kind of a big cookie dough person. And honestly, when it comes to any baked goods or any dessert type stuff, I'm definitely a cookie person. I don't really like baked goods or sweets too much, but cookies are good. Before we get into the paranormal stories, a few of you said you did want to see more Halloween card pictures from past years. Now, I haven't had time in the past week to actually go to my parents' house and dig out like the old ones. I showed you all the ones I had on my camera roll that were old ones I had scanned in. Apparently I have not archived the other ones yet, but I know we do have copies of them. But I did find one more in my photos that we had taken in, I think it was 2021. But then I had a couple other fun pictures of Ryan and I from like Halloweens and stuff that I just quick wanted to show you guys before we get into it. Because there was actually a couple comments that said that you wanted to see more photos of Ryan and I from Halloween. So I thought I would just put those in here. And I'm gonna reveal to you guys ours this year. So starting off with the Halloween card from 2021, it was this one that's on your screen right now, and this was the first year that I got my 12-foot skeleton. So I did not have the 12-foot Inferno, I didn't have the 12-foot Mummy, and so of course we were like, we need to implement the 12-foot skeleton. How do you buy one? And this was, again, 2020, 2021. This is when they were so rare, like so hard to find. If you are like an OG ghoul and or ghosty, you'll remember that when I got the skeleton, my first one, my original, in 2021, it was like the only one in the entire state, and maybe like the only one left anywhere, because it was way after they had completely sold out. And one store that we ran into on like a mini road trip happened to have one in the back of the truck that they hadn't unloaded yet that week. So it was really fate. It was really crazy, and it was amazing. But anyways, so of course we knew we had to use him, and this was our Halloween card. We like tied up our mouths and tied up our hands behind our back and pretended that we were being like kidnapped by the skeletons. If you haven't noticed, there are 2 skeletons on each side of us, and those are just like the normal 6-footers. Actually, one of those must be Skelly. Throwback to Skelly back in his olden days, back 4 or 5 years ago when Skelly was young, hip, and fresh. But now he just has been sitting in my car for like 2 years straight. Actually, no, he was sitting in my car back then. He's been in my car for like 4 or 5 years. That was 2020 or 2021. I will hopefully maybe at some point dig through my parents' house and find some of our other old Halloween cards to show you guys. But anyways, another photo with the 12-foot skeleton. I was super excited for this, and I did this for my Instagram. As a lot of you probably know, I run a small business, so there's a lot of shipping involved in my job, and so I thought it'd be so funny to take this picture that you're seeing right now with the 12-foot skeleton holding a giant package, me holding kind of a normal size package in skeleton pajamas, Skelly holding another kind of normal size package, but of course he's like 2 feet shorter than me, and then a mini Skelly and a micro Skelly holding little packages too. And you cannot see it in this picture probably, but the micro Skelly does have a shipping label on his little package. And actually, oh my gosh, I should go grab him, but maybe I'll show him to you later. I have that micro Skelly with his package still sitting in my office, and he's been holding the package ever since. So he's kind of like my little micro assistant in a way, but I absolutely love that picture so much. This next one is a picture of one of the costumes I forgot to kind of mention last time when I was talking about costumes I've done in the past. Actually, Ryan's kind of probably gonna catch more attention than me in this picture, but I considered myself King of Halloween for this. Pumpkin King. I think I was Pumpkin King, actually. That was me in my Pumpkin King costume. I painted my face to kind of look like some kind of jack-o'-lantern, and then I made like a staff. But Ryan is a reference that probably nobody will get but my family and him. There's a movie called Taxi that had Queen Latifah in it and Jimmy Fallon, and it's so funny. And there's this mom that is always making her special blender drinks. And so she's always a little goofy. And so that's who he was being in this costume. And I don't think anybody knew, but he had to explain it to everybody. And last up, I just had 2 pictures. I think it was 2 years ago where Ryan and I did the whole thing where you carve pumpkins and put them on your head. I have done those for quite a few years in a row, but we don't really have time this year. We do have pumpkins big enough, but we don't really have time this year. So these were the 2 pictures that I picked out. One of them has Mike in them, and Ryan wore a pug sweater, so it was very fitting. But I love those pictures. I use those pictures for like a lot of profile pictures on things just because I love them so much. Okay, this is Jack from the end of this little talk retreat because I totally forgot to put this in. So this year's Halloween card is right here. And this is the take on Medusa turning the family to stone. So my mother, Debbie, is Medusa this year. I put in some like snake wig. I know it doesn't look like super professionally photoshopped, but like the cards are kind of supposed to just be campy. There she is as Medusa. Everybody's turned to stone. My dad, my brother, and Ryan. My dad's running away. Ryan is shaking a fist at her, we'll say. And I am the only one who is not yet turned to stone, and my mom is looking for me, so I'm hiding behind Ryan. I do really like how this turned out. I'm really happy with this idea. We have not done something like this before, so I really like it. Anyways, now Jack will take it away with his 3 paranormal stories. Even if I tell you that there's 2, I remembered something at the end. So there's gonna be 3. Now story time. Let's start talking the paranormal. I feel like we should really like turn the lights down low and turn like a flashlight on in my face, kind of like a campfire story, but I don't think it would show up that well on video. The first one that I kind of referenced in the car was the first one that I could remember. I feel like this is the one that's like a little less off-putting to me. It was still really weird and I still have no explanation, but anyways, I had this friend in high school. Her and I were like best friends ever, and I was having a sleepover at her house, or I was just there very late. I don't really know why, but it was very late. And she had a freaking Ouija board. And what do you know? Some dumb high schoolers decided to play with a Ouija board. I know. I don't need people to yell at me in the comments. Now I wouldn't be so dumb. It was a dumb idea. Whether you believe in them or not, why mess around with it? Like, we shouldn't have. But of course we like lit candles and we were trying to like play with the Ouija board. We weren't like making fun of it. We were trying to like use it seriously. So maybe that was better, but still we probably shouldn't have been doing it. So we were messing around with the Ouija board. I don't think her family was home, and she had like this big golden doodle dog that was kind of hanging down in the basement with us. Just like literally laying on the couch right by us. We're messing around and we're trying to talk and like nothing's moving around. We're like, oh, this thing doesn't really work. We had looked up how to do it. We had done all the steps, like saying the greeting and saying intentions, or I don't really remember what it is, but we had done like all the stuff that it said online. Nothing was really happening. The candle kind of started to dance, but I mean, that could just be from like air conditioning or wind blowing in the window. Suddenly, when we were kind of like giving up and being like, done, her dog just like sat up really suddenly and really like alertly and quickly and stared like towards us. And we were like, what? That's weird. But maybe he heard something. Maybe he heard the thing sliding on the board. Maybe he heard the candle pop. Who knows? So we didn't think much of it. Then he suddenly got up off the couch and like stood and looked at us as if we were an intruder. She was so close with this dog. She was like almost closer than anyone else in her family. Like she could tell it what to do and it would listen. It would sleep with her a lot. Like she would take it on the walks. Like it's so odd that this dog would kind of look towards her as a stranger or as an intruder. Suddenly her dog starts growling, really like deep growling, where it was kind of scary. And I was like, is this dog gonna like attack? But super nice dog, made no sense at all, but started just growling and just staring in our direction. And now if you know anything or know any of the like lore behind Ouija boards and ghosts and spirits, dogs, cats, animals are supposed to have kind of like more of an intuition and more of like a sense for spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call it. So that's what it really seemed like. When I've seen movies, when I've seen videos, when I've heard stories of like how dogs can act with ghosts, spirits, whatever. That's exactly how this dog was acting. He would not calm down. He just kept growling and growling and growling, and she was like yelling at him like, stop, what's wrong with you, what's gotten into you? She like, I think she walked over and like pet him, and he just kept staring in this direction towards the board and towards the candle and everything, growling. So it wasn't either of us, because then we had moved away to go calm him down, and he just kept growling at the board. We then like did the whole like close it off, say goodbye situation, and he still seemed really off put, but after a while I believe he calmed down. But it was really weird. Nothing else weird came of that or happened from that, but it was very unexplainable. There was nobody else, I don't even think, at the house. She lived like with a lake behind her house, and we were kind of by the back, so it's not like there would have been a neighbor outside or neighbor, like her yard was large, there's no way he could have seen a neighbor somewhere else. So it was really, really strange. I never know if I actually consider that that was some kind of paranormal experience for me, but it definitely was an unexplained experience. Now, another thing that happened, this is the one that suddenly came to me. When I was in college, there was this forest and path that kind of went from my apartment, kind of like through this very quiet, desolate, naturey part of the city, sort of. There was like a river in the city, and this went right by it. So it was pretty secluded. There was like maybe a park or two, and then this river. Maybe there's a parking lot somewhere. Not many people went on this path. Not many people used it, but it did lead right up to my apartment. And I say that because I used to walk on this path all the time, especially in the fall. This forest and this path, I just loved it. There was something like refreshing, rejuvenating about going here in the fall. It was just one of those fall forests. And if you know, you know, like there's something about certain forests and paths and walks that you can go on in the fall that are just perfect. It's cold, it's chilly, it's a forest that has a lot of leaves, so there's leaves all over the ground and there's a lot of colors. Some stuff is dead, some stuff is alive. There's some of the fallen branches, some of the fallen trees, logs on the ground. It's very quiet. It was the perfect fall, slightly eerie, but really relaxing type of path. So I loved it, and I would walk that probably like 2 or 3 times a day when I was in college. I was actually the same friend, so she, I think, was visiting me down in college. So we were walking through this path. I had brought a lot of my friends on that path. It was October for sure, so it was that perfect kind of day. It's like mild, cool temperature. You could smell the fall smells. Super quiet. Not a soul in this park, in this forest, in this path, on this path. Nobody. Like, we'd walked past the parking lot. Nobody. You could go off of the actual paved path and take this kind of like twisty path through the actual forest, but definitely like people had walked there. It was like dirt. We walked on that just because it was so nice, so pretty, wanted to see the colors, whatever. You could also get a better view of the river walking on that. We did that. You'd walk off the path and kind of up by the river, and then you'd take this big kind of round scoop back over to the end of the path by the parking lot. I'm trying to paint the picture. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of this. I don't tell like stories very often. We're walking on this path. It was probably like afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock possibly, so it wasn't like dark out. And we're just walking around on this path, super like calming but eerie feeling day. So we were about halfway on this path, kind of at the middle of this U-turn of this loop. Suddenly we hear this kind of like yell. Not like a scream, not like a horror movie scream, just kind of like a shout. So we both turn around, because I mean, like, there's nobody here. We had seen or heard no one. We turn around and kind of like more at the entry where we came onto this dirt path, we could kind of see a person. And then you could kind of notice that this person had like a dog that was like kind of running in front of him, not on a leash. So we just keep walking. All of a sudden he kind of shouts again. So we just like happen to turn around, and he was much closer than he had been. So we could make out what he looked like. And I kid you not, this man just looked like the stereotypical version of like Farmer Brown, Farmer Joe, Farmer Bill, like old man with a straw hat and literally denim jean overalls with like a farmer just button-up shirt under it. Farmer. Like if you just imagine old man farmer in your head, that's what this man looked like. I don't know what he was shouting. It was kind of just like I don't know what he was shouting. But we were kind of like, okay, that's weird. Whatever. So we kept walking. We're just walking like a little bit faster just because it was really weird. He's still like doing this shouting thing. And we're both kind of like walking together quickly. And we're just like, where did he come from? Why is he on this path? Like, I feel like the only people that went on that path were like the college kids. It's not like he was hunting or something. This was not a hunting area. This was a very like in the middle of this college city. So we're like walking and walking and walking. He seems to be catching up to us faster. Also, his dog was moving quicker than him. But you'd kind of like lose sight of the dog and then suddenly see it again. It just seemed like it was getting closer and closer. So we were like walking kind of quick just to like get out. I think in our mind, we were like, let's not block the path if this dog needs to get by or if he catches up or something. Like, let's get moving. So we're like walking quick. We're like talking to each other like, where did he come from? This is really weird. What does he keep yelling? Why is he yelling? Does he notice his dog is like getting away from him? What's going on? You could see him the whole time. That is very important. He was within a eye shot. You could absolutely see him. He was close enough to see. Now remember, shape of the path is like a loop. We are finally getting out. We walk out of the dirt path, kind of more towards more of like a field open area. The screaming stops. The yelling is done. The yelling is completely gone, done. So we both quickly turn around because it was really weird how it just like abruptly stopped when we exited the forest. So we turn around, nothing. Nobody. No man, no dog, nothing. No noise of them walking, no more yelling, no, nothing. This path is shaped like a U. If we were at the end, you can see like the whole walking path. If he got off the path and went into the little area of forest, if he even walked off like the tip of the path, he'd be able to see that. Nothing. It was like the second we walked out of this forest, off this path, gone. So we were actually kind of freaked out at that, obviously, because we were both thinking the same thing, like, where did he go? Where is his dog? His dog was not far behind us by the time we were leaving. Where are they? So we actually kind of like wandered out and like waited a bit just to see like, is he coming? Who was that? Is he hiding in there? What's going on? We kind of like peeked. Our feelings were weird. So we were now at this point like, where is he? Trying to kind of like look for him, but not go back in. Never could find him. We waited a while, never came out. We went kind of back to the start of the path. If he had like turned around randomly, he would have come out. Nothing. There were still no cars. Nothing. Gone. This random old farmer looking man and his dog just disappeared. Totally gone. Now, I always, as I said, perfect, eerie, but relaxing forest. Always thought there was something kind of odd, spiritual, if you will, about this forest. It just always gave me that vibe. Like, it just, for me, was, again, soothing, relaxing, but for others probably would have been like creepy because it was just too quiet all the time. It was just too secluded. I dated Ryan, obviously, when I was in college, and he could attest to that because we walked on that path a lot too. It just had this vibe to this forest. Never did I see this man again. Never did I know what happened to this man. Never did I find out if this was a real man. Now, again, I don't know if this was a paranormal experience or not. That one really like felt like it. My friend and I were always like, was that a ghost of a dude? Because it made no sense for him to be there. It makes no sense that him and his dog could both vanish at the same time when like they had become very far apart on this path. Why did he stop yelling the second we got out? It's not like he was yelling for us. Because again, like if he had kept walking, even when we left, we were still in his sight for sure. I don't know. Those are my two paranormal stories. Just kidding. One more. Okay, one more really quick one. This is also really weird, but I have no proof of anything. Super fast. It just comes to me when I talk about it. When I was a kid, my dad would take us to this park that is still only like 2 blocks from where we live. We called it the Twisty Slide Park because it had a park and there was a twisty slide on it. So that was its name. We'd go to the Twisty Slide Park a lot. Like many nights. My dad, my brother, and I. At least 50 times that we went to this park. We'd show up, nobody's in this parking lot. Small parking lot, very tiny. Fits maybe 10 to 15 cars. When we'd be there, and it was always like when it was dusk or night or dark, this beater car would suddenly show up and just be parked there. Because we'd walk to it. So the parking lot was empty besides this one car. It would show up while we were there. No one would notice it arrive. Nobody ever got out. Ever. And when I say ever, I mean ever. I have re-asked my dad, like, oh, did you actually see someone and you just kind of like fed into this little like fun, spooky thing? No, he still swears he never saw anyone come out. He never saw someone in it. He never saw it arrive or heard it arrive. And it would always we would notice it when it's there, and suddenly it would just be gone again. Like it'd be there for a while, and then no one would see it leave. No one ever got out. No one would see it arrive. No one would see it leave. And it happened, I kid you not, like 50 times. And it isn't like we would go at a very, very, very specific time each day or on a specific day. We would just go randomly at night for fun. Super weird. I can't believe I forgot about that until now. So those are my 3 paranormal experiences. I would love to know yours. What do you think of mine? Do you think those are paranormal? Do you think there's actually something to them? Or are they just weird by chance situations? I am like a skeptic with the paranormal. I don't not believe it, but I wouldn't say I'm like super subscribed to it either. Very open to it. I've just never had something really, really definitive happen. So I'm like not a strict non-believer, but I don't necessarily say like, oh yeah, for sure. Anyways, let me know your paranormal experiences below. Please, that will be such an interesting read. I would love to know them. And please go read other people's in the comments and talk to each other, respond, experience these stories together. And I hope you enjoyed mine. Now let's move on to whatever's next. Good morning, ghouls and ghosties. I am at Target right now. It is Wednesday, and I just have some grocery shopping to do. I don't think anything at Target, spooky-wise, is going to be on clearance yet, which is fine. It's not even... We're not even a week away. Tomorrow is a week away, which I hate thinking about that, but tomorrow we're a week away. But I'm gonna get just some groceries because we are running low on some things. And I might get stuff to cook another soup in the Cauldron, possibly. I told you guys before, but I'll say it again. One time I made zuppa toscana from Olive Garden. If you've never had it, it's like this creamy kind of potato and kale soup. It's almost like, well, no, I was gonna say it's like a stew, but no, it's like a soup because it's pretty like thin. And it has like Italian sausage and stuff in it, and it is my go-to when I go there. It is so good. And one time, actually I've made it twice. It always turns out like identical to the stuff from Olive Garden. So I might try that again in my Cauldron. But I also want to get stuff to make homemade chicken nuggets. I recently found out that that's a thing, and I don't know why I've never thought about doing that, but I love chicken nuggets, so I'd love to like make some and just save them for lunches, and you can add your own like seasonings and flavors into them, so that sounds amazing. And I might get chicken to do that, but otherwise, I mean, I'll look at the spooky stuff. There might have been a couple John Darien Thanksgiving pieces that weren't out when we came here last, so I just gotta get some groceries, but I'll show you if I do find anything spooky that I'm buying. Otherwise, of course, if I go home and do some Cauldron cooking later, I will definitely show you guys that as well. So let's go to Target. I actually still have a full pack of these Trick or Trade Pokemon card packs from last year, so I'm going to be putting those in my treat bags this year. And I hadn't seen the spooky Scrub Daddy in store yet this year, but here's the Frankenstein one. Alright, so I'm home now, and I'm gonna start cooking. So I'm gonna start off by making the homemade chicken nuggets. So I got some ground chicken, and I kind of have to base it off of 2 recipes because there's one that's like make it from scratch, where you literally make everything from scratch, and that uses the ground chicken. But then there's one that uses just kind of breadcrumbs and normal pre-made ingredients, but that one uses just like chunks of chicken breast. So I want to try the ground ones to kind of make like literally an imitation of kind of like restaurant or frozen chicken nuggets. So I need to kind of improvise and use both of these together. I'm sorry, I'm just staring at the recipe. So I have buttermilk, I have garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, breadcrumbs, chicken. I'm actually gonna do quite a lot of them. So I have like 2 pounds of ground chicken. Mike is getting a drink if you can hear that. So I'm gonna attempt this. This one I probably won't do too much on camera because it's like a solar eclipse. Because this is kind of just winging it. And it also isn't using the cauldron, so it's not very spooky. So I'm gonna give this a shot, and you guys will see the results that I end up with. Look at how good they're looking. It smells amazing in here. I'm still air frying another batch. And we have some more that need to be cooked. I guess the only thing spooky about all this is my little tongs. But look at how good they look. Oh, all right, they're amazing. I literally had to eat 2 of them before I could even film a clip, but they turned out so good. I'm very happy with them.
Chicken nuggets. Ooh, yeah, people love to get out of chicken nuggets. Amber said,
I love that my answer was on the news. They asked what kids' foods you like to eat as an adult, and I thought it'd be funny to say Reese's Puffs and Dino chicken nuggets, so that was my answer. Good morning, ghouls and ghosties. It is the 24th, and it's my brother's birthday today, actually, so happy birthday, Evan, but I just had to show you guys my outfit this morning because it is so me. So we got the spooky black and white hat. We got my new bat sweatshirt. I got some wide leg spooky jeans on. I feel very me right now. Not too many things went on Thursday, but my mom and I did stop by for a boo bag adult meal at Wendy's where you get this little glow-in-the-dark skeleton Frosty. He is so adorable. And then we went back to her house to celebrate my brother's birthday with him. So pretty uneventful spooky-wise, but it was a good day. Alrighty, ghouls and ghosties, we have reached the end of yet another week of Vlogoween. I cannot believe it, but we are moving on to the final week of Vlogoween. It is under a week until Halloween, and I can't believe it. So actually next week's Vlogoween is probably going to go up on November 1st, so we're going to keep the spooky vibes going even into November 1st, because Halloween is kind of going to be like the finale of next week's Vlogoween. I am so excited. Lovely. I'm so excited while at the same time being so heartbroken. So I don't know how to feel and I'm crumbling on the inside and I can't believe the season's over and help. I'm just like, I'm shook. Anyways, we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on the fact that there is still a week left of October and we are not at Halloween yet. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys this week for Vlogoween, but thank you for joining me yet again for another week of Vlogoween. If you made it this far, please below leave a spider web emoji. I forgot to tell you guys an emoji. The true ghouls and ghosties, I forgot to say an emoji last week, but this week, please leave a spider web so I know that you are a true ghoul and ghostie that made it to the end. But otherwise, I will see you guys next week for yet another week of Vlogoween, including Halloween. I will see you then. Goodbye.